Hello everyone, welcome to Hazekamp Outdoors. You've probably seen some of my other videos painting a fishing lure or just getting some other stuff done, maybe catching a fish or something like that. But today I'm going to show how to put the epoxy on the lure, the top coat, that kind of seals all the paint and holds it all in there so it doesn't get messed up or come off. There's a couple different things you're going to need. Obviously you're going to need a stand or something to hold it. For afterwards, after you put the epoxy on, you need something to hold it to let it dry. Some people have a like a spinning wheel, and they plug it in, and they put the thing just in like a foam wheel, and it spins, and it kind of evens the coat out. But I just haven't done that yet. Eventually, I want to. I either want to make one or I just want to buy one. But a couple different things you're gonna need is you're gonna need a nice lamp, because once you're putting the epoxy on, it really can show the shine. If there's a spot that you missed, maybe the light really helps you show that spot that's missed, so you can go back over it and make sure it's all covered. You need your epoxy. The epoxy that I use is from Hobby Lobby. It's BSI, Bob Smith Industries. There's a bunch of different kinds of epoxy out there you can get. This is just the kind that I use, and it works real well. I haven't had any problems with it. You're gonna need some brushes to brush the epoxy on your lure. I got these at Myers, and I can get them at Walmart or other places too. It's like $1 for 30 of them. They're just kids' disposable paint brushes. So I just use it one time, and I can just throw it away. I got some of these just wooden sticks that I use to just stir. I use them to stir the epoxy, the two-part epoxy in. Those work really well. They're pretty cheap too. They're like $1, and you can get a whole pack of them. And this is something that I do that I feel like it helps a lot, is I use aluminum foil to stir the epoxy on, because if you use like a plastic plate or if you use something else, there's some air that can get through that, and it gets through and it puts some air bubbles and stuff in your epoxy. But if you use aluminum foil, air can't get through it, so it kind of keeps out a lot of the air bubbles and makes it more more clean once you put it on your lure. Alright, so I'll get into getting the epoxy ready and stuff to start painting on. I just turn my light on first, and then I get some of the aluminum foil, and you can just rip off just a very small little piece of it, just like that. That's all you need, just something you can stir some of the epoxy on. Alright, so I'll go ahead and get the epoxy ready. You want to make this even, so when you put the drops on, you kind of want to try to make it the same amount for each side, the A and the B. So I'll go ahead and put the other side on, the other adhesive part that you have to stir into it. And I get one of my just wooden popsicle sticks, and then you just evenly stir it all together. Alright, so I got this stirred up. Probably maybe want to stir it for 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds. Make sure it's all stirred up, because if you get a part that's not and you put it on your lure, there's going to be parts that dry hard and other parts that's going to be kind of sticky. I've had problems with that a little bit, and that's because I didn't stir it enough. Get it all stirred up. So once you get that stirred up, then you're pretty much ready to go ahead and grab one of your brushes. And you can kind of just glob it on your lure, and then you just evenly brush it out. Epoxy is really nice because it makes your paint shine a lot more, especially once it's dry. Kind of seals it all together, and it even brings out some of like the undercoat that you don't see when it's painted. Once you put the epoxy on, it kind of brings even all the undercoat out. You can see it, all the holographic part that's right here. Once you start putting the epoxy on, you can really see the holographic stuff starting to shine. It really starts coming through the paint. Alright, so I'm almost done putting the epoxy on this now. You see, I took it out of this alligator clip. It's kind of easier to maneuver it this way with your hands. You just hold on to the lip. Some people paint the lip or put the epoxy on the lip. I just personally don't. I have before on a couple of my other lures, but it doesn't really do much, so I usually don't. And it makes it a little easier to hold on to it. You really want to make sure that this is evened out. Like, you don't want a big clump here and a little clump here, because then it's going to change the weight of the lure. You want to put it on, but then you want to brush it out nice and even, long strokes all the way down it. And it really helps out a lot with the even of the weight of the lure once all the epoxy's dry and everything, and the action and the water and all that. Alright, with this stuff, with the epoxy, it has like a setting time where you really have, it's your time to handle it, I guess. It starts getting real like sticky and chunky, and it's really hard to brush it in after that. So you really want to make sure that you get it on quickly before it starts doing that, because then it's just going to make a mess and it's not going to look very good. Alright, now what I do is I hold it in the light where I can kind of see the shine on it, and then you can see some of the spots that you missed. Like right here I can see a little spot, and then you just brush over it and make sure you just get that little spot covered. And you just keep putting it in the light. Like, there's a little spot back here I can see, and you just brush over that and make sure it gets covered up. Alright, so I got the epoxy all on here now. It's all nice and evened out. If you can see, when I move it real slow, you can really see the shine in there now, where that holographic is underneath. So now it's done, and what I like to do is I always try to point it towards the top like this, because as this is drying, a lot of it runs. So if you have it just laying flat like that, it all runs to the belly. But if you hold it up like this, it all kind of runs towards the top. And I feel like that kind of makes it the action better, because the lip's in the front, so the little bit more of the weight that's in front is better, because it's going to dive down. It dives down anyway, so it really doesn't mess a lot of it up. You want to try to make sure it's even. Like, you don't want it hanging over the side like this, or hanging over the side on this side. You want to make sure it's kind of flat and even, so as it runs down, it's going to run down evenly on each side, so it doesn't mess up the weight and the transfer of it as the lure comes through the water. That's pretty much it. And once it dries, then you just put the hooks on and the split rings, and it's ready to fish. So thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe, and that you like my videos. Leave a comment if you'd like any specific colors or tips and styles maybe of how to make a certain lure, or where I get my baits from, those different things, so I can make more videos and have an idea of what you guys want to see. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Hazekamp Outdoors, baby. Is it in your blood?